Big up to everybody. Thank you for being here. I'm looking for this picture, y'all, because I love it so much. Let me see if I can find it. I hope you're doing well. No, it's not this one. It's not this one. This will be my thumbnail. This is my affirmation. I was looking for it so much. It's this clip. I want to say it's from Maury and child. It's this lady that's just doing a whole bunch of extra stuff. I'm gonna look one more time and see. It was on my desktop. Let's see if I find it. Oh, I think this is it. Um anyway, how y'all doing? How's everybody doing? So I am a little bit under the weather, so I'm gonna sound stuffy here and there. I apologize, but I did want to get on here and give you guys some commentary. I'm sorry I didn't get a pressure cooker video out last week, but I'm gonna try to make sure I get one out this week. But this live is just a bonus live. Here we go. This shit is so funny to me. I don't know why. Oh my gosh. How many of y'all miss Maury from back in the day? This lady is nuts. Okay. She's nuts. Anyway, I wanted to get into a couple things today. I want to start with we'll get the beef sector topic out the way because I don't have a lot to talk about there. You know what's crazy, y'all? Y'all probably don't believe me when I say I really don't be watching stuff. Last night, I was like, oh, I'm looking for something to listen to. And I just happened to catch Ness was live. And so this is a good lesson, actually. I'm gonna tell y'all this. So I'm listening to Ness, and I think Ness is hilarious. And so I go in, and she's talking about somebody, and she's describing like their proportions, and she's describing different things about them. And I'm like, yo, this is funny. Who's she talking about? And I couldn't tell from the description who she was talking about. And then as I listened more and more, how did I figure it out? I think she said something else that made me realize, is she talking about Rick Reed? And I'm like, when did they start beefing? So I said, let me go cross-reference this. So I like hopped on over to Rick Reed's page, and then based on his title and the picture, and he was live, I was like, oh yeah, they're beefing. And so I was just really surprised because I've never seen them arguing before. And I don't know what happened. So I'm not here to give you the history of it. I'm just here to unpack a very specific piece of this argument that really bothered me. So anyway, yeah, they're beefing. They're both going at each other. I'm gonna say from the little bit that I listened to each of them, I did listen to more of Rick's video, to be fair. And Ness went like Ness has a certain attack style and in her delivery. She kind of went for that. And Rick can kind of knock heads off, but like Rick didn't do that in his commentary. I felt like he was coming from a place of like real life, and he was just weaving things in. But there were some things that Rick said that I really want to address because it's not even really. I just want to be clear. I'm not necessarily taking sides in this. The commentary that I have to give is regarding something that I see pop up a lot on here. And I just feel like it's a cheap shot that people take. And I just kind of want to have a discussion about it. So at some point, Rick was in his upsetness. I know that's not a word. In his anger, he started talking about Ness and how she was Haitian. And at one point he was like, he just kept referring to himself as American. And, he even said stuff like I guess Ness must have called him Puerto Rican. I've heard people make fun of Rick and say, I remember Heidi did this one video a long time ago and it was so funny. And Rick is not of Hispanic descent. And she was just going through like a list of like fake names and stuff like Ricardo. I don't know. It was so funny though. It was really funny and they were beefing. And so I think people just say stuff like that about him. He's biracial. I believe he's half white and black. But anyway, Rick was going in and he was referencing himself as American. And then he started saying something about Puerto Ricans and certain, and I'm thinking like, do a lot of people who claim they're American don't realize Puerto Ricans are also Americans, honey. Like Puerto Ricans are a part of America. I don't understand why people don't know this and why they choose to do reads about this because it makes them sound ignorant. Puerto Ricans are American. I don't understand that at all. So that was the first thing. And then he was going in on stereotypes and stuff, and he was like, basically he made a Haitian synonymous to scammers. And excuse me, I'm so sorry. Then he was like, I'm American. I grew up with Happy Meals. You grew up with beans. And we gonna unpack all this, y'all. We about to unpack all this because I was just like, this is crazy. He was saying so much ignorant stuff. And then at one point he was saying something about I guess Ness was talking in her dialect, and he said something about, yeah, I seen you last week. You was trying to say bumbaclot and stuff. And I'm like, that's not even Haitian. That's Jamaican, sweetie. Like patois is not a Haitian thing. That's a Jamaican thing. Haitians speak Creole, and that's their dialect. Like some of them speak straight up French. You know what I'm saying? In English, like it's so crazy how people be trying to drag people and they don't even know, they don't even understand the culture. So he's saying all this crazy ass shit, and I'm thinking like, Rick, and we're gonna get on the stuff that you did touch on. That I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give you some props for that. I'm gonna give you some props. But the reason why I'm bringing this up, I get so sick and tired of diaspora wars. And if you know what I'm talking about, then I'm not gonna unpack it and break it down and talk about what's the diaspora war and all this. But it's just like I don't understand when people get into it and it has absolutely nothing to do with your heritage or your ethnicity or how you identify. I don't understand why people take it there. Like it makes no sense to me, and it only continues to perpetuate not just stereotypes, but it creates a larger rift between Black people. This is what I see and this is what I can't stand. And so he's saying all this stuff, and I'm gonna tell y'all my thoughts before we unpack some of these foolishness and fallacies. My first thought is, and this is one of the things I can't stand with the beef sector. People be sitting in they be sitting in people's chats, and I know because I know when I say a lot of us, it's a lot of West Indians and Caribbeans. We're everywhere. Bitch, we're everywhere. Go to the smallest country in the world. I guarantee you're gonna find a damn Caribbean person. Okay. Even though a lot of our countries are tiny. So I know there has to be a significant portion of Caribbean, aka West Indian people sitting up in Rick Reed's chat. Now, what I know about us, Caribbean people, not just Jamaicans, we're a very prideful and proud people. Okay. And we don't really tolerate people talking to us sideways and crazy. Now, I can't speak for every single one of us, but this is a general feeling and sense that I get, and also that I've seen in my life as a Caribbean person. Many of us just don't put up with a lot of bullshit. Okay, so I noticed I'm looking at the chat and I'm reading. I'm like, nobody is checking Rick. Like, not only is he spewing a whole bunch of misinformation, but y'all just gonna sit there and laugh when he's making fun of Haitians. How many Haitians are up in your chat? Like, I know there's mad Haitians in the beef sector. I know there's mad Caribbean people. And this is what I've told y'all before. People don't listen. I always take notes when people start to go off on certain types of people. This is how you get to really understand how people feel about you. Because if somebody I used to tell y'all, I would hear certain beef sector YouTubers go off and they'll say stuff like, you Black bitches, da 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 da, all of a sudden, right? Just everybody's a Black bitch. And I'm thinking like, but most of your audience is Black, sir. And most of your audience are women. And if you're angry, and in your anger, this is the read that you have, then you must feel that way about a lot of us. And then people be like, no, they're not talking about us. Who is for is who is for. But I'm trying to tell y'all, listen to what people be saying. It really exposes how they feel about certain people. Now, if you're sitting up there, making Haitian synonymous with scamation, you can't tell me that you don't feel that way about other Haitians. You can't tell me you only feel that way about Ness. I just don't buy it. That's just me. I don't buy that kind of stuff. When people say that stuff, I don't believe them. It's just like I told y'all, when people get mad and they start saying homophobic slurs, just like off the rip, that's how they really feel. It didn't take them 30 minutes to get there. It took them 2 minutes. If it takes them 2 minutes to get there, that's how the fuck they really feel. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to lay the groundwork here because I'm coming back around to the fact that why was this even relevant? Why were you talking about growing up American? Now you said, now let's start to unpack and pick this shit apart, Rick, because you said I grew up with Happy Meals. You grew up with beans. So I guess he's trying, and he kept saying, Haiti's a third world country. First of all, okay, when you have the facts and the information, a Happy Meal is actually trash food. A Happy Meal probably exceeds the allotted amount of sodium you're supposed to have in a whole day in one meal for a child. A Happy Meal is not a balanced nutritional meal. I bet you them damn beans are, though. I bet you them beans are beans. Let me school you. Beans are complex carbohydrates. Beans are legumes and full of fiber. Beans also double as a protein. I guarantee you, you're probably getting 1, maybe 2 grams of protein in a damn McDonald's meal. Okay. So for you to pretend that that's a drag making fun of poor people and poor countries is stupid. Like, I don't know why this stuff, it just gets on my nerves. It gets on my nerves because it's just like, why are you even bringing this up? Why not have different reads? You're talking about Happy Meals and Americans. Why is that synonymous with Americans? Okay. That's part of the reason why most of the world is healthier than Americans. You sit up there bragging about Happy Meals. You're making fun of being Puerto Rican. Puerto Ricans are Americans, just like you. You identify as an American. Puerto Ricans are Americans, okay? Haitians are scammers. I think when, you identify as, well, you actually identify as Black, Rick, even though you're biracial, you seem to heavily identify with being Black, with your Black side, whatever. That's kind of what I've gathered. So what if people start saying stereotypes about Black Americans? How would you feel? Wouldn't you get upset and try to shoot it down? Like, I don't understand how you're going to run with this narrative that Haitians are scammers. It makes no sense. Hey, I'll come pillow talk with Bay. It makes no sense to me. And once again, we have people in the damn chat, in his chat, that's not checking him. Okay, that's not saying, yo, what are you talking about? Like, that's not true. Might it be true for some? Sure, there's scammers everywhere. There's scammers in all the ethnicities. So, like, I don't understand why people like beef that much that they're willing to sit up under somebody. And this goes for everybody, not just Rick, by the way. All of these talking points have to do with everybody because I see it happen with different topics. I see people just kind of sit there and they don't call people out. Maybe I just listen differently. Maybe I consume content differently. But when I see and I hear something that's just like, nah, that don't add up, I'm going to be like, wait, hold up. This is incorrect. Thank you so much. Oh my God. It's good to see you. I'm good. Glad to see you live. I love your perspective as always. Thank you, love. Girl, I've been not on here and I'm trying to get back regular, but it's a struggle, sis. It's a struggle. I hope you're still doing your thing too. But yeah, like, why do people not call out people like this? Like, what do y'all think? Why do you think it is that they just sit there and laugh? And this is one of the reasons why when I always go back to the Treasure Lane thing, the wild warthog of Treasure Lane. One of the reasons why I don't fool around with a lot of those people anymore. One second, yeah, I need to blow my nose. Sorry about that. One of the reasons why I don't like fool around with a lot of people that I observed some things from that happened a couple of years ago is that I noticed that people are willing to just be swept up in the crowd as long as they're in the building and they're seen and they're with the rah-rah. They're not really caring about the truth or calling people out. Like, I'm the type of person that let's say I'm in the chat and I like most of what's being said. If you start saying a bunch of stuff that's not true, I'm going to do one of two things. I'm going to say something like, well, actually, or I'm going to fall back. You're going to see me disappear about the chat. Like, either I'm going to be saying slick stuff in the chat or I'm going to fall back because I I don't know what it is, like, because I'm not a follower. So like if I'm surrounded by people and they're just saying a bunch of stuff and I don't feel comfortable, I'm like, wait, hold up, whoa, well, hold up, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I don't care which YouTuber it is. I don't care if they're small or big. I've done it. Where and they might not even see my comment, right? But I'm like, oh, hold up, wait a minute. Like that's the type of person I've been like that since I was a kid. I just will just, just tell you. Well, actually, you know, it's a mess. Yes, listen, that consistency is key. I'm trying, I'm really trying. And I'm glad, yes, I'm so glad that you're coming back and doing anything. Whoever is fresh and new, they roll with it. Pillow Talk with Bay gets it. Whoever is fresh and new, they roll with it. And this is the reason why, amongst other reasons, why I stopped watching a lot of people from the B sector. She's absolutely right. Because I can't take a bunch of following ass people. You know what I'm saying? You want to be with the cool kids so much. This is how I know some of these people must have been losers in high school. Not to be mean, but it's just like, are you still trying to live out your high school days? You're a whole adult. Why is it important for you to run with these people, to be seen with certain people? I think that's weird. I think it's very weird. So, back to what I was saying. Yeah, so I'm looking at this chat and I'm thinking like, where are the Caribbean people I know? Hey TMZ, thanks for being here, love. Big up to TMZ. TMZ started a channel, y'all. If you follow their community posts, you'll see they started a channel. I love their community posts. I don't understand. I just really struggle with why people need to they're silent or they just are laughing in the chat and stuff, and it's like nobody is calling it out to be like, yo, this is wrong. Just like, straight up, if I see somebody saying crazy shit about Black Americans, I'm gonna speak up too. Because I'm gonna be like, wait, hold up. How are you generalizing like this? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just crazy to me that people are okay with that. And I think for me, I take it a step further. Like, in my life and in my career, I don't put up with stuff like that. Like huge generalizations will not only will it get you in trouble, but and they're not true, but just like that, to me, that's a sign that points to some other issues. So if I'm around somebody and they're so comfortable just making these huge generalizations about groups of people, at our age, and I'm gonna speak for myself at my age, that's a huge red flag. It's a huge red flag. Maybe when we were in our 20s or our teens, and you're like, yeah, Italians and da da da. You know what I'm saying? But like, when you're this age and you're comfortable making generalizations and spreading misinformation, it's not cool. I don't like it. I don't like it. Oh, wow. Really? Is that the best you got as an American? Happy Meals? Happy Meals? My mom didn't even allow my sister and I to eat fucking Happy Meals when we were little. That's the real tea. She didn't let us eat that stuff. And, I'm not like, we weren't skinny kids. Well, my sister was. My sister was always skinny, but my mom don't play that shit. My mom was like, we're going to cook real food in this house. My mom didn't even allow us. She would like, one time I was like, I want some Pop-Tarts. My mom was like, that's not real food. You really want to talk about, being American, and you're saying like, oh, Happy Meals, I'm an American. I had Happy Meals as a child. You had beans that's full of fiber and nutrients. Are you freaking kidding me? Are you kidding me? Like, you have to know how to cook beans. Like, real talk, if you buy a bag of beans, you got to cook that from scratch. It's not hard, but you need to know how to prepare it, unless you're only used to the canned variety. But, maybe some of these comments, because they're going to say I'm being too much. Pillow Talk about the pick me Isha is at an all-time high. Yes, it is, sis. Yes, it is. And this is a reason why I stepped away from a lot of the people in the sector, because I'm a type of person, I like to march to the beat on my own drum. I don't like nobody telling me which beat I need to be on. I don't like nobody telling me which drum I should be playing. I don't like nobody telling me what colors my drum should be. I like to be me. And so that might mean today, I like this person's commentary and I'm like, this is funny. This is hilarious. And then tomorrow I'm like, nah, you wrong, bro. You're wrong. And that gets you in a lot of trouble in the beef sector. People don't like that. People start to say, let me tell you how backwards some of these people are. They start to say things like, you're a flip flopper. When you actually have critical thinking skills and you don't run with the hive mind, they start saying they start saying you a flip flopper, y'all. Isn't that crazy? Like, there's people on here that I don't like at all. At all. And if they say something that's truthful or right, and I happen to come across it and I feel like talking about it, I'm going to give them their props. Because that's how I operate. I'm not going to be like, well, I don't like this person, so everything they say is wrong. Mm-mm. Nonsense. I can't put into words how illogical the beef sector is. It's beyond illogical, TMZ. That is a really good word for it. It's illogical. It's illogical. Like, it makes no sense to me. Like, I'm not. I actually listened to parts of this twice because I'm like, come on, Rick, are you serious? There's so much more that you could have said if you're really trying to big up America. You know what I'm saying? Like, and this is the shit that really be pissing me off because I hear a lot of foolishness, and I'm not saying that there's not people from other countries or Caribbean people who might talk about Americans. I'm never going to gaslight people and say that that doesn't happen. Again, diaspora wars. We have that happening. We do have that. But for the most part, my experience, as a West Indian, as a Caribbean person, we mind our motherfucking business. Okay? You move to the country that you move to, you work hard, you get what you need to get, and you keep it pushing. That's what we do. And so a lot of this stuff where people be like, yeah, they come here and they try to take our stuff and they try to be better than us and they think they're better than us and all this foolishness. And it's just like, we're like, where are you getting this information from? Like, where are you getting this information? How is it serving you? It's, again, creating a larger divide between Black people. It's already hard for us to get it together and to stick together. Here you go. Okay, just repeating talking points. Now, if it is your personal experience, absolutely. But for every story you got, I got a story too. Okay? Like, it's crazy. Like, I've seen both sides. Like I said, I've seen, Caribbean people talk about Black Americans, but guess what? As a Caribbean person, I was bullied in school. It didn't last very long because I had to whip a couple people's asses, but I experienced bullying because I was Caribbean. So what are you talking about? Like, it's so crazy to me. People want to be oppressed so bad. And once again, like, I just want to go to school and get good grades. I was minding my business, and then now it's just all these wars and people just like, it's like people want us to feel bad about who we are. That's never going to happen. Like I said before when I started this live, most of the West Indian people I know are very proud people. I don't mean proud we're better than you. I mean, we're proud of who we are. Just because we move around and move to other countries, that don't mean we don't like our country, boo. That doesn't mean we don't like our culture. It doesn't mean we're ashamed of our culture. And so I don't understand why people think that they can come and brag about Happy Meals, or like you're sitting up there talking about it's a third world country, it's a third world country. And it's just like, what are the first world things that you have to brag about, Rick Reed? I'm waiting. What were the first world things that you have to brag about? Make it make sense. Okay, because there's a lot of people. I've seen some very compelling arguments. Okay, but it needs to make sense. So anyway, I say all this to say, it's not about sides. It was about me talking about and addressing some things that I seen that I heard that I didn't like. Now, here are some things that I did like what he said. Now, Rick did talk about, I'm gonna read this comment and then I'll get into it. They flip flop all the time. They drag each other in 1 minute and then they're cool the next. Exactly. Exhausting and fake. Doxing, dragging kids, racism, colorism, homophobia, xenophobia. Like, yo, listen, on point. You name it, and they've used it as a read. Absolutely. And these are facts. But their audiences are laughing buffoons and act as if it goes over their heads. Absolutely. And I'm going to add to that, TMZ. So, you know what my favorite part about what TMZ just said? Most of the people do this shit, but people who have a different flavor will say that, who might have a career or something like that. Don't let us be laughing about anything about their faves or fighting with their faves. Their favorite card. What pressure cooker? Aren't you a social worker? Which I am not, but I'm just going to repeat the misinformation. Aren't you a social worker? Why are you what's pressure cooker? And that's the first thing they be trying to bring up to silence you. Guess what? Therapists can laugh too. You're not my client. I'm not in a session. Okay. I'm off the clock. So what are you talking about? Like, it's just so stupid. People just, oh, it's so irritating. They do all that stuff. And then when they're ready, they turn on each other and be like, you're more colorist than that person. You doxed more than my fave. You drag kids harder than my fave. And it's like, y'all all do the same thing. So stop it. Stop it. Just nonsense. But a couple of things he said that I'll give him some points for. So, I did notice a lot of people like to use Ness's child as a talking point when they're coming for her. I think it's old and I think it's tired. However, the reason why I often think that, I think is a cheap shot, but also most of the people who are saying those things don't really like care about their kids or have been caught in unsavory behaviors, if you know what I mean. On here. They on here, 50, 11 hours a day and things. So, I don't really want to hear you talk about other people picnic because you're not taking care of your child the way you depend on yourself. There's no way you even have time for wash your ass. So, how are you talking about somebody else's child? You know. However, Rick Reed, one thing I'll give him props for is I do believe Rick Reed's a good dad, and I'm gonna tell you why. Okay, now I don't agree with a lot of things he says, or everything he says rather, but Rick Reed has talked about his kids on here just like neutral times. He's come on here and talked about his kids, and he does have a very strong work ethic. I would never put Rick in a grifter box. He doesn't come on here and do scams for money. He doesn't come on here and beg for money. He just does what he does, and then people will like bless him whenever they want to. And so I get the sense that he is a very hard worker. And so some of the things he was talking about when he was like, I'm not going to go back and forth with you, maybe at the intensity that you want me to, referring to Ness, because I have a job and and then he started talking about her kids and stuff. Now, I still think it's a cheap shot, but this is one of the few times that I feel like somebody has said something that actually has shown, not he's not the only one, but actually has shown that he cares about his kids. I hear him come on here and call his kids names or screaming at them, when nobody's looking and stuff. So, I do think he cares about his children. And I do think that out of a lot of people in the beef sector, Rick does work and work very hard for what he has. He has a very strong work ethic, and I don't think that's the sentiment in the beef sector. A lot of people are very entitled and they expect things to be handed to them. And I don't think there's anything wrong with getting donations and stuff. That's not what I'm saying. But people come on here and they expect things, and I just think it's weird. So there's that piece. So I'm gonna give him that. But anyway, that's what I had to say. Stop coming for Caribbean people. And some of y'all really need to be careful which Caribbean people you come for. And this is not a threat. I'm just being dead ass. You don't know what they be into, okay? You just don't know what they working with. So be careful the type of Caribbean people you come for. Anyway, we're going to move along to the next topic. All right. So what else we got? I got to look back at this title, child. The new House bill. We're gonna shift gears into politics here. Very briefly. Now, I don't know if this is true. I tried to cross-reference it. I came up across it on LSA, y'all. So usually LSA is reliable for news because they'll post a link. I tried to look this up and I did not find this. I don't know if it's true or not, so y'all can help me out. Let me read TMC's comment before I read this next topic here. I feel like half of the beef sector CCs are likable outside of the beefing. I agree. It's kind of sad how they dedicate most of their time to tearing each other down. I absolutely agree with you, TMZ. I think that there's a model that exists because a lot of them, some of them do have like talents and good topics where you could just, they can do their content and like things naturally could arise and then it's still, I don't know, whatever beef sector, but I think people are too invested in keeping it going. Um, People are too invested in the conflict. And so it's almost like they write their own storylines. Like it's almost like they just, this is why the relationships don't last. They almost like self sabotage. Like it's hard to find healthy relationships in the beef sector because people aren't really invested in that. I think people look for ways to stab each other in the back. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been grateful for a couple people I've come across on here that I still talk to outside of YouTube, but I'm aware that it's very rare. I'm aware that, you know, these are people that, you know, are just gems. And I've never heard them or anyone else come back on here and repeat stuff that I've said. Not once. Sorry, let me I gotta blow my nose again. Not once have I heard those people, you know, come back on here and that's how I know that they're real, you know. And be like, Pressure said this behind the scenes and let me tell you what Pressure's doing. I've never heard them do that. But that happens so frequently in the beef sector. And this is why I don't understand why people continue to tell repeat offenders their secrets, because it's just like, well, you're just asking for it, honey. So apparently, once again, I want to be responsible because I cannot find an article for this. They said there's a House bill that is passed that's supposed to redefine anti-Semitism to include criticism of Israel or Jews. Have you guys heard this, or is this fake news? Because the person who posted this in LSA did not post a link, so I don't know if this is accurate or not. But we're gonna touch on it very briefly until we can verify sources. But I kind of, not kind of, personally, if this is true, I just throw my hands up. You know, people are already being attacked for their jobs, their characters, just for speaking out um, against the Zionists, you know, speaking out against the genocide that's happening, quite frankly, in Palestine. And it's just so sickening and it's so upsetting because how can you make that synonymous with anti-Semitism? What's wrong is wrong. Like it's just crazy to me that people have to. I mean, America is just really going to hell in a handbasket. Like between them changing all the Supreme Court, shutting down and destroying all these laws and stuff that's been in place for a while. And you know, if this is true, it's just sickening. And I'm thinking, like, how comes you have stuff like this, but you don't got no hate crimes to black people? You don't have nothing. There's nothing. You see, what is this? Stop Asian Hate. There are specific laws for Asian people and hate crimes. And I think there's another group. Did they pass one yet for the LGBT? Now, I'm not saying that these shouldn't exist. I'm not complaining about them. I'm saying, look at how this country started. This country was built on slavery, okay, chattel slavery, and literally, the people that they stole from their homeland built this country, and they still arguing about whether reparations should happen or not. But that's just crazy to me. But here you go. You have time to pass a bill if this is true about what the definition of anti-Semitism is. Something reeks, guys. If this is true, something reeks. Biden, you're in trouble. Okay. Now, I was listening. Who was it? Was it Michael Moore? Michael Moore was giving Biden a sharp warning not too long ago, a couple months ago. And he was like, look, you're too wishy-washy with this Israel Gaza stuff. If you don't step it up, you're going to lose a lot of votes. And it doesn't mean those people necessarily will vote for Trump. It just means you're going to lose some votes, which will make you more susceptible to losing. Now, at the rate he's going, it's not looking good. I don't necessarily think that those people are going to convert to Trump supporters, but I do think that Biden Biden, listen, I'm still looking to get my student loans dismissed, but if you continue this wishy-washy path with Israel, I'm not voting for you. Like, that's crazy. These people killed so many people, and if this is true, if this bill is true, it's trash. Okay, you notice that America love talking about the First Amendment and freedom of speech, but what gets the most attention in the courts? What's protected the most? I actually don't think it's freedom of speech. I think it's them damn guns. Okay, people will break their necks. Politicians will rip the seam of their pants running so they can give the damn NRA a blowjob on a Gucci knee pad. That's what gets defended and protected. The Second Amendment. I'm so this like I'm so sick of these guns, and it's crazy because I do believe there's like people who are responsible gun owners, but why so many guns? There's so many guns in America. Okay, so many, and all of the stuff that happens, they just it's just thoughts and prayers. They don't really change anything. You know, they don't really change any of the things when the tragedies, major tragedies happen. So First Amendment rights, I think it's a joke. I think America just likes to brag about that. I think that they're really about the I've come across this before, the homosexuals. Some of these people love guns so much, you want to know what I'm going to do with it. And I'm not talking about shooting, okay? Because it's just not that serious. Does voting even count if the candidates they pre-select are put to the forefront and independent candidates are completely ignored? You know what? That's a deep question, TMZ, because that actually makes me think of Bernie. Okay, I'm still mad about Bernie. I'm still mad about Bernie. Bernie should have won the last. Was it the last election? No, when Hillary was running, Bernie should have won, and establishment Democrats, okay, pushed Bernie aside and was like, "No, we want Hillary, the warmonger," and her ass lost. So it's just, I can't. I can't like it's just I mean people like accuse Bernie of stuff like socialism and just all kinds of nonsense like sometimes I just truly wonder if America wants better. They do, they be saying crazy shit like that and I'm like Bernie would have done wonders for America, like wonders, and Bernie's like y'all don't deserve me, okay, y'all niggas don't deserve me. Bernie not even running again. It's like now I don't know what he really thinks, but I fucking love Bernie Sanders. Okay. Um, I didn't Hillary, nah. Hillary, at first I was all about Hillary because she's a woman. But the more I learned about politics and the more I learned about the establishment Democrats, it's just like it was hard for me to get behind her, right? It was just more of the same. It felt like, and I would love to see a female president someday. I would love to see that, and I will celebrate that person, even if they're not my first pick. But nah, like y'all did this. You did this. You decided that it was Hillary who should be up there, and that's the reason why. Then we got smoked. I was smoked. We got smoked with Trump. I don't care what people say. This is why I don't take people seriously, especially black people that are pro Trump. I'm like, listen, y'all can say all you want to say. Trump is trash. Okay? Now, just because I say Trump is trash doesn't mean I'm licking Biden's booty hole. And people they can't critically think. They just assume that if I don't like Trump, okay, it's called the lesser of evils. It's called the lesser of evils. Okay? Trump destroyed America. Y'all be worrying about them damn checks that we got. But actually, I had heard that prior to Trump coming in, that Obama had also had those idea to do the stimulus checks. So, what is that? You got some checks and you're excited? What else has Trump? I would love to talk to a black Trump supporter. What else has Trump done that makes you so excited? Because I don't understand. I really don't understand. He's fucking racist. He's xenophobic. He's sexist. Like, he's so many things, and I just don't understand. So until I hear something Don't tell me about the human trafficking because that's just QAnon talking points. I want to hear something that's not on a QAnon board. I want to hear real facts. I don't want to hear your Marjorie Green talking points. You got to come correct. I don't want to hear your emotional fifis. I want to hear what is it that you like about Trump so much that you think that he would be better. Make it make sense. Hey, Miss M, second time in the English lesson. Thanks for being here, Miss M. Child, I be going off. I'm out of control sometimes. And you know what? I used to be afraid to talk about politics because it's so polarizing. But I think that we can agree to disagree. And also, I think it's okay to feel exactly to Ross. I think it's okay, to feel strongly about things. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to vote against my best interest. Like, as a woman, as a Black woman, why the hell would I want to promote somebody like Trump? I'm still waiting for people to say, "Oh, we were talking about the beef sector, and now we're talking about they passed a bill in the U.S. allegedly. We still trying to verify the T. That apparently they're trying to redefine the word anti-Semitism, and I was talking about how, look, y'all ain't even passed a bill for Black people in hate crimes, child. America, we gotta pray for America. I mean, we gotta pray for the whole world. But I am just so tired. I am so tired. Hey, Queen Diva, big up. Oh my gosh, I'm so tired. Yeah, it's crazy. And it's just, they just keep stripping things away. We gotta wake up, y'all. Like, they just stripping stuff. And let me stop, because I was gonna say something about that mother trucking Clarence Thomas, but let me just stop. Cause what Priestess Osset say, the hecka is strong. We gotta be careful what we say. So that's what I got about that piece. I don't know enough about that story yet to go in, so I don't know. I'm still waiting for more about that bill. But if that bill is true, trash. We're not having it. What else I got? Look at me, I'm a hot mess. I got it. Oh, okay. So there's a couple things we can either talk about AHS or Kendrick's new song. Kendrick's song is gonna be Miss you make me want to hear your accent. I gotta do a live where people hop on, because I bet your accent is beautiful, because that UK accent is everything. I'm gonna talk about this briefly, very briefly. They said, Lamar, they said, Kendrick came out with a I don't even know what Drake said to Kendrick. Okay, I just listened to Kendrick's track today, and I said, "Well, Lord have mercy." Yes. Okay, you want to talk about? Okay, baby. When I tell you Kendrick gave Drake the ass whooping of his life that his mama never gave him, shall I answer the question about the Jewish bill? But I guess YouTube hit. Oh my gosh, they did hide it. I didn't see it. TMZ. Oh my goodness. Is it real? Just put yes or no if it's real. Child, Kendrick did not come to play. Now, usually I'll do a little side by side and unpack the lyrics, child, but because I've been running my mouth for so long, I'm not going to do all of that. But if y'all did not listen to Kendrick's song, first of all, I love me some Kendrick. Okay, I just love his music, and it's crazy because I haven't listened to all his stuff, but the songs that I gravitate towards, I just listen to them all the time. And he, when he had dropped his other album last year, that main song is amazing. Love that. What was it? There was a song. So one of my favorite songs is actually, might shock you. It's actually juicy though. It's the song, because I also love SZA. It's Doves in the Wind, and I love that song so much because even though they drop the P word every 2 seconds, it's just such a beautiful song. Like, I love SZA's verse, I love his verse, and I love the video. But I love Kendrick because he can go from like ratchet to very conscious, and you can just tell he's writing his stuff right. Very talented. I feel like he's tapped in. Oh, I have to listen to that. I need to. I'll listen. I'll be taking notes. Let me write this down. I'm gonna write that down because I'm gonna look that up. See, because I don't even know that one, or maybe I do. You know how sometimes you know songs, but you don't realize you do till you play it. Child Kendrick. Listen, he ratted tat tatted that ass. And you know what's crazy? I'll never forget. There's a couple things about Drake. Now, when Drake first came out, I did like him. Some of his stuff was catchy. I liked some of the things that he did with people. I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say I don't like Drake songs, but I haven't really been paying attention to him and following him much in the last years because I got Drake gives me cringe. He gives me very much cringe. There's a couple things that turned me off. One was the little girl, and yes, I say little girl from Stranger Things, Millie Bobby Brown. Okay, he was just hunting her down and wanted to hang out. Drake, you're a grown ass man plus tax. Why are you while for? It was just weird. I mean, she's 18 now and stuff, but just there's just weird things way before some of these people start getting exposed. I'm like, nah, that ain't it. No, man, Pam. Because if that was my daughter, then would I find you on the cutlass of the yard? You know what I mean? I said, so Drake is weird, and I think he's also a culture vulture. Okay. Because when I remember I still am subscribed to Adrian, but I haven't listened to him in a while. But Adrian expression is so funny. When Drake be coming out with his stuff, with his mashups, and trying to be Caribbean, and because Adrian's actually Jamaican, right? So you know how Drake, what I'm saying, Drake has that song front way, back way, and then the issue was like, Drake, if you don't get your front way, back way ass out of here, he is hilarious. Adrian expression is hilarious, but Drake stay trying to steal our lingo. Drake, stop it. Okay, I found this clip the other day. I never even seen it of XXX Tentacion, who, by the way, full disclosure, I did not like when he was alive because he had did some evil, unsavory things to his girlfriend. But I digress. XXX Tentacion cuss off Drake on telling stuff and stop talking a patois. He told him, "Bruh, your family's not from there. Stop it." And usually we don't even care if people do it. It's just Drake just be like co-opted shit. It's giving Kardashian. Yeah, XXX did. Miss M XXS. Look up the video. It's actually a DJ Academic video. It came across my timeline because YouTube is messy, honey. And I don't even watch DJ Academics. I'm trying to think how I found that video. But XXX was cussing off Drake and telling him to stop. I was like, damn. Hold on. I got blood my nose again. I'm sorry, y'all. Yeah, so this was before I saw this in the timelines before Kendrick issued the finish him. But he basically dragged Drake, okay, emasculated him, basically said that he was a culture vulture. I'm paraphrasing. No, he's not. He's Jewish, and help me out, y'all. He's not Arabic. He's Jewish, and I think he's part black too, but I can't remember. But they said that Drake's whole persona is what is it? Not procured. I guess maybe procured. Like it's created. It's not real. That's not how he grew up. He was very white. Miss M said Drake is a whole Arab. Nah, he's not an Arab. I don't know why that's taking me out. Yo, oh my gosh! Speaking of Arab, did y'all hear Black and Jewish? Thank you, TMZ. Did y'all hear that Floyd Mayweather is being held in one of the Middle Eastern countries because he owes debt? I don't know. Dun dun dun. Yeah, he's part Jewish. He's part Jewish, so he is black and Jewish. But I think they were saying like because he was on the show Degrassi. I didn't even watch that. And Drake is Canadian, but I don't know. Kendrick destroyed that man. He destroyed him, and I don't even think Drake be writing his own stuff. So it's gonna be a struggle. Drake, you better go light a candle and summon your ancestors, the black ones. You're going to need all the help you can get, buddy. Yes, Mayweather. Now, I did not see anything on TMZ. This is another LSA thread, but they said he's over there, y'all. And then they said that the reason why Floyd Mayweather might be caught up is he was he doing something pro-Israel? He might have been engaging in some type of like public thing that had to do with Israel, and then he went over there to one of them countries. So they think that he been had this that, and they were just like, oh nah, you two timing. So they think that's why he. I hope he's okay though. I really hope he's okay because them countries are crazy because they don't them laws don't be making no sense. You know, I there is a part of me that has a sense of wonder, and there are countries that I would like for a long time wanted to visit, but that list is much shorter now. Like when I see how, not to be like all, negative Nancy and stuff, because you can't be ruled by fear, but when I see how things are with the way they treat women and child, it's just too much fucking in the world. It's just certain places I'm never going to. Never going to China. Nope. For what? Yes. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that? Listen, I don't understand. I, child, I don't understand. And I had some things to say because there was a lot I didn't know about, like how, Israel and stuff and how they got that land. But my video is going to get super popped if I go into it. I was talking to my husband and I was like, what? This is crazy. I don't give a fuck what he said. Miss M said, bye, bitch. Miss M. I was trying to be nice, Miss M. He ain't my cup of tea either. But I'm like, damn, they be crazy over there. But sometimes, listen, I still think about, what's that basketball player's name? I forgot. Y'all know who I'm talking about. She was caught up in Russia because of weed. Child, listen. If you're gonna go to some of them scary ass countries, but make sure you do your research, okay? Do your research because they be putting people in jail for nothing over there. But yeah, so sorry, I'm all. Let's look at me, and my ADHD self. What was I talking about? Way before. Oh, we're talking about Drake and Kendrick. He got poppity pop pop. If you haven't listened to the song, listen to the song. Lovely T started to do a breakdown, but I'm a whole Virgo and I'm super detail oriented. Lovely T was unpacking it, and I was like, "Child, Lovely T, you done picked this apart more than a Virgo. Goodbye." But it was good. So if you're looking for a super thorough, in-depth, go over to Lovely T after, because she definitely seemed like she was going in. Never going to Saudi Arabia. Okay. Or one of them, never. Okay, because they just be raping people for fun in the Middle East. Like, I've read some and I'm not, the rape happens everywhere, but I've read some very disturbing stories, and it's just, oh my god, I'm not even gonna rehash them because I don't believe in just re-traumatizing other women and stuff. But it's just, jail. You know what, Miss M's like, girl, get real. They be killing folks over there. You're right. You're absolutely right, and this is why I said, yeah, I send him a prayer because I don't wish that on him. I don't, I've heard some things about Floyd, but child, Death by Firing Squad ain't it. Yeah. Not the porta potty. Miss M. Miss M, I'm sick. I'm gonna be out here falling out, coughing on the floor, messing with you. Oh my gosh, she's hilarious. What else I got up here? Oh, do y'all want to talk about AHS? Well, I don't want to. I also don't want to do too many spoilers. But American Horror Story, I didn't know it was ending. Tiffany, shout out to Tiffany. She prepared me because I didn't know it was finishing. TMZ said they had plans to place Israel in Uganda back in the 1900s. Could you imagine the lack of action if they were committing genocide on Africans? Absolutely. See, because TMZ posted a post the other day, and I forget what African country it was. I don't want to just guess. There was an African country recently where there was like a crisis going on. And TMZ was like, oh, when they send the help, when they send the aid. And TMZ is so right. They won't. They don't. That it barely even makes the news. Y'all notice that? They've sent billions of dollars. Billions of dollars. And this is, there's a lot of stuff I'm evaluating, and I'm like, I'll never forget this. I had a professor in undergrad, and she was white. She was white, and actually it was crazy because looking back, a lot of the white students didn't like her because she was telling too much truth. And she said, back then, I want to say, damn, I don't remember if it was 900 million. We're going to go with 900 million. I think back then that's what the US military budget was. 900 million. We'll go with that. Dr. Asor said, "Do you know that one third of America's military budget can solve world poverty?" Baby, I was shookest. Just world poverty. Okay? So I started to think, gee, let's scale that down a bit. Okay? If that percentage of it can solve world poverty, there should not be any poor people in America. There should not be any people in America without insurance. Okay? Like the list goes on and on. People shouldn't be motherfucking hungry. Like it's just crazy to me that and we want people to be protected. I'm not saying the military budget isn't important. TMZ, I'm gonna send you a high five virtually, boo, because you're right. Excuse me, you're absolutely right. Oh, it was Kenya. Okay, it was Kenya. Thank you. So I said, what kind of foolishness? She said 1/3, y'all. 1/3. And I remember learning about the Rwandan genocide. And I don't want to botch the details because it's been years since I learned about it. One thing I would say is when I learned about that, there's 2 times in my life that I actually experienced physical sickness from hearing a traumatic story. Like, and I even grew up saying this, when people say this make my stomach sick or, this just make me sick. And you just kind of grow up saying that. Baby, this is the first time in my life that I recall actually feeling sick to my stomach was learning about the Rwandan genocide and watching I don't know if it was I think it was a movie, but it had like a real footage in there too, and I was just so fucking disturbed. I was so disturbed that we can do that to each other over nothing. Like, guys, that joint destroyed my soul. I was like, yo, what the fuck? But that was one aspect. The other aspect was, I think it was Bill Clinton who was president then. Once again, history buffs, please correct me. And it took them a while. Am I wrong, y'all? It took them a while. America's always dipping their toe in somebody else's pool, trying to tell you what the temperature is. Okay. But let it be some African countries that needs help, that needs aid. Okay. There's no help. They took forever before they intervened. I could be wrong, but I swear they took forever. They did. And it's very crazy. And I realized that America seems like they come in, sweeping in and helping people, but really it's for their best interest. Does it have to do with oil? Okay. It's all about the things that they are interested in. It's not altruistic at all or philanthropic. Kenya, yeah. So it's just, but yeah, that is sickening. Very, very sickening. I don't even think I could rewatch that documentary or movie or whatever that was. It was a mess. But yeah. So back to what TMZ was saying. Okay. My husband and I were talking, and I'm not gonna say too much because it doesn't even matter anyway, because this probably gonna be demonetized because all my topics, listen, my channel, well, no, I don't want to put that out there. I don't want to speak that into the air. The topics that I'm interested in, they're not money makers, okay? Some of them might be salacious here and there, but I like to talk about real stuff, guys. Like, I like to put in like a little bit of mess and, laugh and stuff, but I like to talk about real stuff, and it's not pretty topics sometimes. So I try to tweak the words here and there, but usually YouTube be like, your video is not appropriate. And then I have to ask them to review it. Every single video, I have to ask them to review it. And then I would say 9 out of 10 of them it's fine. But something's triggering the algorithm. Um, pretty good. Well, they kill Saddam Hussein. Exactly. So my husband was telling me about Israel and stuff, and I was asking him, what are we talking about? Like, so I confess a lot of this stuff I never paid attention to because I blame it on how I grew up in the particular church I went in, and also just ignorance, right? So I just was just like, yo, like I didn't know about. I think was it 1940s that they gave Israel the land. I don't even remember, but he was talking to me about different things, and I was like, that don't sound right. So they just scooped up other people's land and just gave it to Israel. And then I started thinking about, I'm like, why is any of this surprising? Because America literally came in. I mean, America was created, air quotes, after this. Like other people were already living here. That goddamn Columbus, he gonna come in and talk about some. He discovered America, but there was people living here, and America then came in with this damn doctrine of discovery. So basically, you're rediscovering shit that's already been discovered, but because you're white and so right, you think that you can just claim it. So it's just, to me, a lot of that energy is messed up. That's like, that land is always going to be, not cursed, but it's always going to be issues because look at the way that it was given. Like, you took other people's shit and gave it to somebody else. Like, that's crazy, you know? Now, that being said, I don't play no games about the Holocaust. Like, I think this is what's so upsetting about this whole trying to silence people who talk, speak out against Israel's atrocities, because that's what's happening, and genocide that they're committing. Because you can do that and still be like, yo, the Holocaust was horrible. Nobody's trying to tell you that we want you to be oppressed and go back into a bad situation. But what we're not going to do is sit here and support your fuckery, which you killing babies and blowing up hospitals, and civilians and stuff. And look at what happened the other day. They done messed around and killed some Iranian. I don't even remember the title, but they killed some people from Iran. Okay, and they weren't supposed to do it. And Iran was mad and said, I think it was a warning. I don't think it was because Iran had mobile missiles. I think Iran was warning their ass. And instead of Netanyahu, okay, sitting his ass down and finding something to do, he gonna start talking about, oh, I'm finna get back at him and all this stuff. And it's just like, yo, bro, chill out. You've done enough. Haven't you done enough? Haven't you done enough? Like, somebody needs to like sit his ass down. He's doing way too much. I'm sick of his ass. Anyway, Netanyahu, stop it. I don't care about money, but I love the stuff money can buy. Okay, same sis. Yeah, we're chilling in Africa, minding our own business. Oh yes, one day. That's definitely that's always been on my list. I want to go to the continent of Africa. Um, there's different countries that I have in mind, but I definitely would love to go to Africa. You created bombs, planes, ships, and boats. Child, it's just I can't. I just absolutely can't. And let me tell you something. I still think that one day, then, well, I say Native Americans, but let's just say the indigenous people of North America. I think the indigenous people of North America is going to rise up, and all them people, they still got time to get it together. But I do believe a season is coming when they're going to rat a tat tat that ass. Okay, their communities gonna get healthy, and they're gonna take their shit back because those people, along with us, like have experienced some crazy shit, and the government continues to gaslight them. Okay, giving them little tiny pieces of land in remote areas that don't have access to certain things, making rules and laws and stuff, and then denying them access to some land that they're still owed. Like, it's just a lot of evil ass shit that's happening. And one thing I love about the indigenous population too is, well, they all have different like spiritual values and views, but they're also such a spiritual people. And it's just so, I just get so angry when I hear and I see things continue to get perpetuated. Meanwhile, people just love talking about what's wrong with their community, just like that happens in the Black community. It's just a mess. Miss M said, we only use the weapons they created against their own artists. Okay, listen, listen. See, this is why it's hard to find. But I love stories about the Haitian Revolution, and I love stories about when the Maroons were fighting the damn British in Jamaica. Okay, because depending on where you're looking, okay, you're gonna find some juicy tidbits about not just the weapons that they're using, but how they use otherworldly powers to get that ass. Okay. Miss M said, listen to the song called Rise Up by Engineer. I'm gonna write that down. Thank you, Miss M. Thank you. TMZ said, we weren't really chilling in Africa. Some of us fled into Africa after the Spanish and Portuguese Inquisition when they kicked out all the black Jews and Moors. Oh, shoot. Wow. Wow, TMZ. That's crazy. Yeah, you know what? I need to look up more about Moorish history. It's very fascinating. I just started learning very little, but sometimes it's hard to know what sources to really, stick to. Um, the this listen, I need to look up more about the Portuguese Inquisition. Are they like similar? I'm familiar with the Spanish Inquisition, but child, I can't remember some of that my history stuff. So do either of you guys watch AHS? Do you know Chimaranga? No, I don't. School us, sis. Um, that's the last topic that I have to talk about. But I don't want to bore y'all with that. If you don't watch it, I could do a separate video. Um, I'm still rereading this comment. Very juicy tidbits here. Miss M, school us about, I'm probably saying it wrong, Shimaringa. But yeah, so while I'm waiting for her to respond, I'm going to do some wrap up talking points because I'm getting ready to get out of here, y'all. My stuffiness is getting worse. I'm deteriorating. Oh, you watched the older seasons. Okay. Yeah, this season is crazy. It's crazy. Do you have a favorite season from the old ones? I'm British African, but know all about the scramble of Africa. Woo, 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 woo. I actually, I want to learn more about that because one of the things that I was looking, my family history is not super well documented, which frustrates me. You know how people can just go and like, trace their generations, like, I mean, trace their family to multiple generations back. It's kind of hard to do that with mine. So, like, my grandmother doesn't even have a birth certificate. It's crazy. In Jamaica. So, I would love to learn more, but I'm also very fascinated by the histories of well, for me, for Jamaica, because I want to know like what countries in Africa like was predominant, right? And then sometimes I like try to figure some stuff out. Like I think like when I look at the food, I think about Ghana, but I think there's multiple influences there. But I met somebody. Let me tell you, I met this one woman, and she's from, was it Guinea Bissau? And it's very small. Like actually, before that, I don't even think I knew anybody from. I definitely didn't know anybody from there. I don't even think I was like familiar with that country. When I tell you, because I always thought like Ghanaians maybe is like the predominant for like our area and stuff. I was trying to figure it out, trying to see. This woman looks like she could be a cousin or a sister. It was so crazy. Like we're not related at all. Like I met her here in Canada, and she's from Guinea Bissau, and I'm like, she looks like she could be related to me. It's so crazy. I would love to meet more people from there because I was like, yo, that's crazy. We're not even related, and but that is, I just, it's West Africa, so that makes sense. It's West Africa, but child, I would love to know more. Yeah, it's a tiny but beautiful place. Oh, sounds heavenly. My mom's family was colonized by Portuguese in Mozambique. Oh, okay. Wow, in Mozambique. I heard Mozambique is also beautiful, though. They carved out Africa, the Middle East, too. Man, it's just, we've just been through so much, been so scattered. But look, we're still here and we're thriving and we're doing our thing. Um, oh my gosh, I love these conversations. Absolutely love them. This is what I'm talking about. I love stuff like this. Like I live for these type of conversations, and I'm just so grateful that you guys are here and we can be nerds together, and I can learn some things as well. Um, any other comments and questions? I'm going to read these. My mom's family was. Oh, sorry, I read that one. TMZ said everyone in the transatlantic slave trade primarily came from Western Africa, right? They have a map on a landmark in Washington, and my ancestry DNA looks exactly like it. What? That's crazy. Yo, that's crazy. Yeah, that's why I kept thinking, like, what is it? I'm trying to see what other countries. Yeah, because that's like right there on the coast. That's wild. So wild. Um, but I love like there's so many different countries, right, on the west coast of Africa. So I'm like really interested in like specifics. But I guess they claim the DNA thing though. When you take it, they can still check. They can still evaluate that stuff. I forgot. I'm scared to do the. I'm scared to do the DNA test, y'all. I want the information it provides, but I'm like they just stashing their DNA somewhere. Have you guys gotten it? Um, did a DNA testing. Let's see. Okay. All right. Let me come back to this page, y'all. I'm sitting over here looking at this map. um, Miss M said the Western Africans from Ghana, Nigeria places were shipped off. Yeah, so that's why I was thinking. Thank you, Miss M. I was thinking for a long time that Ghana seems to resonate the most with like. I was like, I don't know, based on different things that I see, but I'm sure it's a mixture as well, right? But listen, it was so great talking to all of you. And thank you guys who are still here with me, holding down the conversation, having a key in the key, learning some things. I wouldn't do it. Every black person I know gets the same results. Yeah, see, and that's what I'm worried about. I'm like, how are they actually figuring this stuff out? I wouldn't do DNA test because I don't want. That's how I feel too, Miss M. That's why I don't want to do it. I just didn't want to say that. That's how I feel. I was like, I don't know. Is there like ulterior motives to this? Um, yes, I don't trust them. But thank you. See, that's good. That confirms it for me. Well, I paid to be told. I know, and I don't think anybody from my family has done it either. Um, I don't think anybody has. It's very interesting. Yes, you too, Miss M. Thank you both. I'm sending out so much love. Thanks for putting up with my stuffiness. I'm going to get off of here. My husband's taking care of Kwame right now, but I should go tag him in soon and not leave him in the trenches. Anyway, I love y'all. Have a good night. Thanks for being here. Thanks for schooling me about some things as well. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. Have a great night, y'all. Never even took that. You know what? I wish I never did, Miss M. You were smart. Cause child. Child. All right, good night, y'all.